Commentary on Haggi chapter 1, King James Version. Haggi chapter 1 presents a powerful message from God through the prophet Haggi to the Israelites, specifically addressing their misplaced priorities and calling them to action in rebuilding the temple. Verses 1-2, the call to the remnant. Haggi begins by introducing the recipients of the prophecy, Zerubbabel, the governor of Judah, and Joshua, the high priest. The Lord's message rebukes the people for saying, "The time is not come, the time that the Lord's house should be built." v.2. After returning from Babylonian captivity, the people focused on rebuilding their homes and livelihoods but neglected the reconstruction of the temple, indicating spiritual complacency. Verses 3-6, a call to consider their ways. God challenges the people's priorities, asking why they dwell in sealed houses while his house remains desolate. v.4. This contrast highlights their material focus at the expense of their spiritual obligations. The Lord points out their struggles. They sow much, and bring in little. They eat, but yet have not enough. They drink, but yet are not filled with drink. They clothe you, but there is none warm. They earn wages to put it into a bag with holes. v.6. This list describes the frustration of their efforts. No matter how much they work, they remain unsatisfied. This is a divine judgment. Their lack of prosperity is directly linked to their neglect of God's house. Verses 7-11, the command to rebuild the temple. Twice in this chapter, the Lord commands them to consider your ways, verses 5-7, urging self-examination. He instructs them to go up the mountain, gather wood, and rebuild the temple, v.8, promising that he will take pleasure in it. The people's hardships, drought, failed crops, and economic instability, verses 9-11, are shown to be consequences of their spiritual negligence. Verses 12-15, obedience and revival. The message impacts the leaders and the people, and they obey the Lord. v.12. Haggi reassures them with the Lord's promise, "I am with you." v.13. This marks a turning point. The people are stirred by God's Spirit, v.14, and begin the work on the temple. Themes and lessons. 1. Misplaced priorities. The chapter warns against prioritizing personal comfort over God's work. 2. Divine discipline. The people's struggles serve as God's means of drawing them back to Him. 3. Obedience brings blessing. When the people respond to God's call, He assures them of His presence. 4. God's sovereignty. He controls the land's prosperity and withholds blessings when His people stray. Conclusion. Haggi 1 is a call to reevaluate priorities and act in obedience to God's will. It reminds believers that spiritual negligence can lead to dissatisfaction and hardship, but repentance and action lead to restoration and divine favor.